progress.
Hey, welcome everyone. My name is David Mack. I'm a site care business coach, data processing officer, and I've got on the call today Gary Kasulu, who is a social media expert. But you tell us a little bit about what you do in your company and your background, very, very briefly, Gary.
So my name's Gary Kasulu. I've been a dispensing optician for 25 years and a social media strategist for over 10. We set up a business called Loving Social Media. It's not just me, it's with much amazing staff. There's 7.5 of us. So that's Loving Social Media.
That's brilliant. And I know you're passionate on the subject, but time's a little bit short. So what I would like to do is, and I know you do business for other businesses, but I want to focus on opticians. And social media, I've worked with quite a number of opticians. It's one of those areas that everybody thinks we should be doing it, but we're not doing it, or we're doing it not very well. We haven't really got any results. Therefore, I don't want to waste any more time. So I want to talk about a practice that you've made a real difference to. So if you could tell me what they were like before you started working with them and what they're like now, and then we'll look at maybe what you did. But just the results. What's the results?
It's an independent practice, just single practice. I started working with them around 3 years ago. They were testing twice a week. They're now, I'm really proud to say, they're double testing 5 days a week, sometimes even a third room. And I'm very proud of what we've done there. Yeah, recently we got to I've just helped them to get to the final for the Optician Awards for Best Social Media Use. So a double whammy for me there. They're not only are they successful, but they're also going to be award-winning soon. Hope. Anyway, fingers crossed.
Okay, that's brilliant. So you've got the new patients, which everybody wants. But I think there's been a little bit more contributory to this. So how has the engagement improved over that time?
Yeah, well, look, you can actually track how many phone calls you get from Google. So when we first started with this particular client, Wood Street Opticians, they had less than 10 phone calls a week. It was quite small. And now we can go as high as 150 phone calls. And that, if you think that they divide the average dispensing value by whatever yours is, that's quite a significant sum. And that's all tracked.
Okay, and the third area I know that you've significantly improved things is the number of reviews. So how has that changed over time?
Well, I've used other ideas from other industries. We've got some special equipment and a real strategy around this. And it wasn't easy at the beginning. Staff didn't want the rejection of somebody saying no. But now they're at 300, just over 350 reviews, 100 a year, just over. And they celebrate every time somebody gives them a review. And it's easy. It's become such a natural thing to do in the practice. It took work, and there's a strategy behind it.
So fantastic. In a nutshell then, so you told us how you got the more reviews, but how have you got the phone ringing, and how have you got new patients coming in to actually sit in the chair and have a test? And obviously,
so when I had my practice many years ago, there's a story behind it. Quick story. The web designer, I said to him, well, how do I get to the top of Google? And he frowned at me and said, well, you'll never understand it. And there's always a bit of a challenge with me when someone says, oh, you can't do it. I went away, I went to the library, I read some books. The internet was barely a new thing in 2004, and I discovered there's a thing called search engine optimization. So I've literally been studying this thing for years and years and years. So social media, search engine optimization, a real holistic look at all the different platforms, and then you just widen your net. There's different horses for different courses, but if you can get to that page 1 on Google, which is also, it has quite a lot to do with reviews, it has quite a lot to do with social media, it's quite a holistic view. That's what we did, and I'm happy to teach anyone that will listen.
And so anything specific about how you've done? Is it videos? Is it posts, pictures, or is it anything?
Here's the interesting thing. Social media and digital strategies moving at this alarmingly quick rate. people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. So where you'd make a video of 5 minutes, and we've got practices out there making beautiful video, nobody's watching them. Try making them at 8 seconds, and you will see thousands of people watch them. So you need to understand the diversity of the platform, keeping up with it. So what we did 3 years ago is now not so relevant as what we're doing now. We're keeping up with the pace of the change, all the different platforms. They're changing every day. So it's a little sprinkle of everything, doing the basics well, and really looking at your website too, and updating that. A lot of opticians haven't updated their site for years. You can go in there, and you could go in there. It's quite straightforward when you know how.
That's fantastic. And so, just summarizing then, if you're going to build or look at incorporating social media into your business, you should have a strategy before you engage with a business to help you with that. There may be plenty in your local area that are approaching you, but you need to have a strategy with some goals, some measures that you can monitor to make sure that the investment is value. And I know, Gary, well, it's not your figure, but it's recommended generally that up to 5% of your turnover should be invested in marketing. And if you don't do that, where's the future business going to come from? Where's the new patients going to come from? And investment in social media these days is one of the best areas to bring you a good return on that investment. And so the 3 things you should be at least asking or expecting your social media supplier to provide is, I want you to improve my engagement. I want you to improve my number of new patients, and I want to improve my reviews, particularly 5-star reviews. And you can set where you are now on each of those, as we just shared with this practice, and where you would like to be, and working out what the return on investment will be that will allow you to decide how much you want to or should be spending on your social media. Now, many practices are a bit scared of that, I know. And what we want to do, I want to call on Gary's expertise here. And I've twisted his arm and I've said, look, can we share some of the secrets of this with practices? Can we sort of teach them? Can we share the knowledge? And if they want to go and do it themselves, if they're time rich, plenty of time, they're only testing 1 or 2 days a week or whatever, so they've got capacity, can they do it for themselves? And he's agreed to do that. So we want to put on a monthly webinar, which the first part of it will be training, and then to run a clinic to answer any questions. So if we share on the training element of the call how to set up a Facebook ad group, then you can ask a question if you try that, and then the month after, it's either not quite working how you thought. Having said that, it is far better to outsource it, and we would love you to outsource it with Gary's team, but we're going to share warts and all secrets so that you don't make the mistakes that probably Gary has made to get to where he is. So we'll be promoting that so that you know when the dates are, when the times are, recording those. And Gary, any last sort of minute tips for practices watching this? What's one thing they can do which will see a result or see a benefit from, do you think, in terms of social media?
I would say Google Business Profile, social media as well, because the post disappears after a week. People don't realize that, so you've got to be quite consistent. So I will teach you how to get in there, how to understand it, how to put a post up. It really is quite straightforward. Social media, digital strategy, nothing to be worried about. It's actually quite fun. When you get the hang of it, you'll be fine. So I love independent practice. I think that we're going to need to really up our game in the next year, and I'm happy to be your support.
Gary, thank you for that, and I look forward to finding more about social media in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you.